All right, students, the next chapter which we are going to revise is the chapter of time of supply. Sir, can you give us a quick linking? Yes, Baba, let's take a quick linking. We started learning GST with goods and service. Goods and service has to be supplied. Supply can be either interstate supply or intrastate. Interstate supply, IGST will be levied. Intrastate, CGST will be levied. Once GST is levied, it has to be collected and paid by a taxable person. How will he collect? GST is equal to value of supply into rate of tax. Once you know the value, you will prepare what? Tax invoice, credit note, debit note, and delivery challan, and you will send the goods to the other person with the help of a e-way bill. Now the liability will come. Government says your liability comes at the time of supply, means you become liable to pay the tax when at the time of supply. How to determine time of supply with respect to goods is told by section number 12. How to determine time of supply with respect to services is told by section number 13. Section number 12, one goes ahead and says liability to pay GST on supply of goods will come at the time of supply. Section number 12, 2 says if you are a supplier, you have gone ahead and supplied the goods. When are you liable to pay? You are liable to pay on the date of issue of invoice or last date to issue invoice. Last date to issue invoice means it is removal or delivery or when you make the goods available or whenever you are issuing successive statement or whenever payments are being received as per the contract. Whenever the payments are basically going to be received, you should have gone ahead and issued the invoice. So it is date of invoice or last date to issue invoice, whichever is earlier, no, or date of receipt of payment. Date of receipt of payment is bank entry or credit, whichever is earlier. So out of A or B, whichever is earlier. However, there is a notification which has come and told that supplier of goods need not pay GST on advances, and hence you will not have to pay GST on date of receipt of payment. You will go ahead and pay only on date of invoice or last date to issue invoice. Baba, don't cut anything in your chart book. What I'm telling is in the exam, how are you going to write? You are going to write A and B both, and then you will say a notification has come and they are telling supplier of goods need not pay GST on advance, and hence time of supply will be date of invoice or last date to issue invoice. Section number 12.3 goes ahead and says reverse charge. As a recipient, when will you pay the GST? Sir, date of receipt of goods or date of payment. Payment means when bank book entry or debit in your bank account, whichever is earlier, or date immediately following 30 days from the date of invoice or other document by the supplier. Supplier went ahead and gave you an invoice or any other document. From that day, you have to calculate 31st day. Are we clear, everyone? Whichever is earlier. Sir, date of receipt of goods is not there. Date of payment date is also not there. And the supplier did not go ahead and give me any invoice or any document. So I'm not able to calculate the 31st day. In that scenario, sir, when A, B, C is not applicable, book entry date of the recipient, that is when you make a purchase entry being the recipient, you'll make a purchase entry. That entry date will become the time of supply. Section number 12.4 goes ahead and says, in case of voucher, is the supply identifiable? Yes, sir. Supply is identifiable. Date of issue of voucher will become the time of supply. If the supply is not identifiable, sir, redemption date will become the time of supply. Residuary cases, basically wherever it is not forward charge also, reverse charge also, voucher case also is not applicable. Are you a registered person? Yes, sir. If you are a registered person, your time of supply will be the day you are going to file the return. Sir, if you are not a registered person, for an example, you are caught in an investigation and now you are going to pay GST. When are you going to pay? You will say, sir, when will my liability come? They are telling you, pay it. The day you pay it, that is only your liability ka day. Date of payment of tax is the day when your time of supply will come. In case of interest, penalty and late fee, always remember the day you receive it, that day it's your liability. If you don't receive, you are not liable to pay. If you receive it, the date of receipt of interest, penalty and liability, that will be your time of supply. Then we have section number 13. Section number 13, one went ahead and told, sir, liability to pay in case of services shall arise at the time of supply. Sir, section number 13.2 told if forward charge mechanism is there, basically when will the supplier of service pay? Sir, if he has issued the invoice within 30 days or 45 days, you remember, if it is a continuous supply of service ka case, if the due date is ascertainable, you should have raised the invoice on or before due date. Due date is not ascertainable, on or before payment. Payment is linked to completion, on or before completion of the event, you should have raised the invoice. Now, if you have raised the invoice on time, Then, sir, invoice or payment, whichever is earlier. If invoice is not raised within time, then date of provisioning of service or date of payment, whichever is earlier. Yes, sir. Sir, small advances का case में government went ahead and told it is up to you. You can pay on that advance or you can pay when you raise the invoice with respect to that advance. Section number 13 to C goes ahead and says if you are not falling in A case or B case, for an example, you are not falling over here in 13 to A also and 13 to B also, then sir, then they are going ahead and telling book entry date of the recipient will become the time of supply in case of the supplier. Are we clear, everyone? Yes, sir. Point is clear. I hope you guys remember dry cleaning ka example is there. Yes, everyone. Next. 13.3 goes ahead and talks about reverse charge mechanism. Baba, in case of supplier of goods, reverse charge mechanism mein he pays on date of receipt of goods or date of payment or 31st day from the date of invoice by the supplier. Right, everyone? In case of services, date of receipt of goods will not be there and hence date of payment or 31st will become 61st day from the date of invoice. Are we clear, everyone? Can I go ahead? Now listen to me very carefully. This is always applicable in case of reverse charge. If you import some service from outside India, from your associate enterprise, then the time of supply will be date of payment or see baba, importation of service from associate enterprise, then date of payment or book entry date in the books of accounts of the recipient. When you make a book entry, that will become the time of supply. Now, always remember reverse charge may, if date of payment or 61st day is not available, then they are going ahead and telling Ramesh, being the recipient, you will make an expense entry. The day you make the expense entry, that will become your time of supply. Section number 13 for voucher, section number 13.5 residuary case, and section number 13.6 interest, penalty and late fee, same as section number 12.4, 12.5 and 12.6. Voucher का केस में supply identifiable, date of issue of voucher, supply not identifiable, date of redemption. Residuary case में if you are required to file return, due date of return. If you are not required to file return, date of payment of tax. IPL का केस में the date of receipt of such IPL. In case of reverse charge mechanism, what will the supplier give you a document? If supply is registered, he gives you a tax invoice. If supply is unregistered, he gives you a commercial invoice or bill. Right, everyone? Here we are done with your time of supply. Right, everyone? B graded topic, 2 to 4 marks. Right, everyone? Chalo, I'll stop my discussion on the chapter of time of supply over here.